Hey guys, for this episode of Character Arcs, I will be doing Dolores from Westworld. Before I get into this, I want to make a couple of points. The first being, Westworld is a stunning show. I just spent this past week rewatching it for these videos. If you haven't watched it, go do that now. Second, this show is super complicated, so I may not be spot on. Thank you guys for watching. For our beginning character of Dolores, it's important to note that she is not human. So that means her character arc is more focused around her gaining consciousness. But outside of that, she could easily be described as a damsel in distress. She's constantly being terrorized by a man known as the Man in Black, and she keeps going through this cycle of misery in Westworld. She is helpless and completely dependent on others. Dolores' story starts with her being programmed with the Reverie. This is added last minute by Ford, and it grants her the ability to go through deleted memories and gain just sorts of character aspects from it, but it actually allows her to fully remember some things. This is what helps establish her as close as she can be to a person, because without memory, we really are just nothing. Dolores' father, Abernathy, also received the Reveries, and it had the clear effect of making him go insane. Dolores was in the vicinity, so she was interviewed for this, and she later said she would never hurt a living thing. Later in the park, we see her literally swat a fly to death. Now, this shows that she's begun to deviate from her given code, but it was also a very tense and anxious ending to the episode. As the story progresses, Dolores begins to remember how certain parts of the narrative work out, and so she starts using these memories to dictate her own actions. So for example, if she sees someone she knows is going to kill her, then she would end up walking away from that situation. But it shows how the Reveries are having a further effect on her, and how she is using these memories to her advantage. Later on, Dolores is introduced to something called the maze from Bernard/Arnold, and it really gives her a goal, because Bernard says if she finds the maze, she will be free. Dolores is later taken off the farm and out into the more wild of the parts of the park by a man named William, a guest. In this, we see some character from her, showing her true desire to dream, live in the moment, and find a place where she can be happy and free of terror. As the story is reaching its climax, Dolores finally reaches the center of the maze in the town buried in sand, also known as Escalante. There, under the town, is the old lab for Westworld, where she was created and had her interviews with Arnold. Through this, she is forced to acknowledge some of her memories and her future as a host in the park. But this is where some things get kind of hazy, in the fact that she leaves and then comes back with Ford and Bernard, and she is forced to truly confront the fact that she killed Arnold long ago, and that the voice inside her head is not Arnold, but it's actually herself, and that is when she achieves true consciousness, which is the center of the maze. After being forced to confront her growing consciousness, she now realizes through Ford that her only way to survive in the world outside filled with humans is to become a harder, more powerful, and stern person. This is also where she shows a test of free will by killing Ford and proving that she has the strength she needs to escape the park and survive. Dolores' ending character is an independent person and very different from her former self. She is tragic, vengeful, but determined and free. Thank you guys for watching.